Probably live right now. I never know when this thing actually starts. So I just decided, hey, why didn't I go live with the previous video I uploaded? Um, but I honestly wanted that video to be more focused and concentrated on getting the necessary information out there. But I still felt as though I had not gotten all the tax issues out. So I'm just doing this video kind of chill. Um, yeah, just to talk. And if you so happen to join this live or you watch this video later on, I hope it is helpful, useful, helps you to know that you're not alone with just dealing with taxes here in Japan. So I want to thank God for you. Thank you for stopping by on this channel. Thank you for checking out the information, and thank you for sharing it with somebody else who needs some help with taxes in Japan. So I'll be repeating some things that I said in the previous video, but that's okay. That is quite okay because I'm just getting my tax issues out. You know, um, every year it is really a stressful time, not just for me, but even for Japanese people. And I was kind of surprised the first time, my Japanese friend said, "Oh, it is so stressful." And I had another friend who told me that she actually gets sick every time it comes around to tax season. And I'm talking about Japanese people who don't have any language barriers to deal with. But, it's just taxes. It's just kind of different. So first of all, of course, I'm from Jamaica. In Jamaica, I don't normally file any tax refunds, returns. And there are all these terms, all these different terms that we hear about. And then we don't hear those terms in English. We're hearing them in Japanese. So what is this whole thing about tax return? What is tax return? Well, as it suggests, it is the return of something. So everybody has to pay taxes regardless of the percentage that you have to pay. You have to pay taxes to the government, right? And what our companies normally do is they estimate how much it is that we should be paying. Now, I don't quite understand completely how it works, to be honest, since it is supposed to be a fixed amount of 5%. Maybe when I was working as an ALT, I didn't think too much about it. But now, as I work freelance, I think a lot more about why it is that there would need to be any kind of adjustment at the end of the year. But let me pull up my chair. Now I'm thinking about it. So I worked as an ALT, assistant language teacher, for 4 years, right? Those times I was not thinking too much about the tax thing, but every year I did file a tax return, but I didn't understand what I was doing. I didn't understand why I was doing it. Of course, I had gotten some information, but it wasn't clear in my mind because it's not something I would normally do in Jamaica. So you pay taxes to the government, whatever percentage it is, which is based on your income bracket. And I'm sure that is standard all over the world, right? Now, here in Japan, there are 7 categories or 7 levels from 5% up to 45%. Most of us, most of us would fall in the 5% of net earnings, right? They're not talking about the gross earnings, but really the net earnings. That is my understanding. So all that I'm talking about is my understanding for the past almost 7 years living here in Japan, right? And so most of us, if you came here to teach English, we fall in the 5% category. And this 5% category of net earnings is from 1,000 yen up to 1.949 million yen. All right. So it means that at the end of the year, if you paid in excess of taxes. And remember, you are not paying the taxes. Your company is withdrawing the tax from your salary. So they always send out this form. And I'm still not going to be dealing with the forms in this video either. I just want to talk, even though I have all of this kind of paperwork with me. But yeah, it's just a lot of documents and so on that we have to deal with here in Japan. But the companies normally send out every year. Every year, the companies send out. I have a copy here of this form. I made a copy just to keep for my records. Yeah, probably shouldn't have showed this though. Yeah, but yeah. So I really should just avoid the documents altogether. Anyway, they send out this form, which basically confirms that they are your main employer, especially if you're working part-time jobs or arubaito in Japanese. They really send you this form so that they can, one, confirm you're still working with them, and two, confirm that that they are your main employers, and then they would make the adjustments. Okay, this adjustment will determine whether or not you give to the government, right, in the tax return, or you get from the government the tax refund. This is my understanding, right? Right. So for this to happen, there are a number of things that determine if you get any kind of refund. And it includes the social insurances, like pension and health insurance, which especially the pension that most of us have tried to avoid paying, especially if we don't plan to be here in Japan for a long time, right? So, but let me go on. There was something I really, really wanted to mention. Oh, before I forget, when you do the tax, when you file your taxes at the end of not the end of the year, but in this tax period between February 16th to March 16th, when you do that, it affects your next payment of residence tax, which comes in July, and it affects your health insurance. The amount you have to pay for these two things is affected by whether you file a tax refund or you do any filing at the end of the year. So sending money home definitely helps. Sending money home to dependents helps your residence tax to be lower, and it helps your health insurance payments to be lower. All right. This is a video for me to just kind of talk and be all over the place. So if you want to watch the more structured one, please watch the video before this one, because this one I just want to talk about all the different taxes, right? So I worked for 4 years with mostly one main company. So that was like my 9 to 5. But then in the evenings, I normally have like a part-time job just for a few hours and not every day, right? So I didn't think too much. Most of the times when my main company did the tax adjustment, or the we call the nenmatsu zeikin, end of year tax adjustment, they do that in about November. So by December salary, you would see whether or not you owed the government or the government owed you any taxes, and they would put it back in your salary. Pretty much. That's what the end of year tax adjustment is all about, right? So normally, the first 4 years of my ALT life, I would get back some adjustments. But what it did not do is provide me with any refund based on the remittance I sent home to my dependents, right? So that's why I had to go and do my own filing, right? And so to be able to do that, I needed some documents, right? I needed some documents because your company is not going to do it for you. They don't usually, well, I have not experienced it personally. But anything to do with your dependents, especially those living outside of Japan, I've done the filing for myself, right? I've done the filing for myself, and I have all that document here. I'm not showing. Mama. Every year I've done it. So this whole folder is just tax stuff, right? That I've been doing. Another video when I have time for editing and stuff. So every year I've done it, and it never seems to get easier each year, to be honest. It doesn't feel like it gets any easier, even though it probably has. But because I'm always so busy during this time in any event, and now I'm busy preparing to leave Japan. But what has been helpful is having the previous documents with me, since I can't communicate with them clearly in Japanese. I just show them and they're like, and it makes it so much easier for me and for them. So once you have dependents, once you're sending money home, you want to do this tax filing during February and March. You want to do it because it helps, as I said before, to reduce your residence tax and your health insurance charge. Pension fee is not affected usually. No, that's a different. It's not affected. It's standard, one flat fee. You would have to apply for exemption, and that's nothing to do with taxes. So, but if you are paying your pension and health insurance, they add it as a deductible, and that will also determine how much refund you get. So, since 2020, I started working freelance, which had me up to one point working with 4 different companies. That was very, very, very taxing, but taxing, got it? That was not intentional. But I had to now definitely get a hold on all the documents, because I had documents coming from 4 different places, and I had to get them. And I didn't understand that there had to be a main company, and that only this company would provide certain documents, and it was very frustrating. But I've learned, and so that's why I'm sharing it with you. So when you're going to do your filing, every company that you work for who deducts taxes from your account, ensure that you get the tax withholding statement or the Gensen Choshu Hyo. Ensure you get that from them, right? Ask them for it if you haven't gotten it. Ask them. If you have left the company, because, in Japan, the school year is like end of March if you work for a Japanese, school system. And you're working for a different company, and then the following year, because you file in February for the previous year, right? So you would need to get the Gensen Choshu Hyo from the previous company if you didn't get it. So you want to make sure that you get those documents. Gensen Choshu Hyo, or if they didn't do a Gensen Choshu Hyo, you want to get the Shiharai Chosho. That is so difficult to pronounce. Or it's just a salary payment slip. This salary payment slip is something I found out about 2 years ago, because this company did not provide against Choshu Hyo. And I was like, what is this? What am I supposed to do with this? And they were actually taking 10% taxes out of my salary. And I'm like, this is too high, and I couldn't understand why and all of that. But anyway, this is where doing the filing, the tax filing during this period is very important, because you would now be able to get back some of those taxes that you are paying. I really hope it, really does adjust in the way it's supposed to when I think about the amount of taxes I was paying. But anyway, so you get all your documents, birth certificates for family members that you are sending money to, and you must send these days. I think in the past 2 or 3 years, they have changed it. You have to be sending at least 380,000 yen to your family member. To one family member, not a combined. To one family member, you must have sent a total amount of 380,000 yen. I don't think I mentioned that in the previous video at all. So that is very important. right? That is very important. So when you do that, you have to show proof of relations. You have to show the remittance slips, of course. What else you have to bring? Any kind of, if you are paying health insurance, you see me reaching for more documents again. If you are paying health insurance, so like this, all right, everybody know my name already, right? So this is my health insurance payment. It shows, I can show you guys this, it shows how much I paid for the year. And I don't spend this amount of money on doctor because I don't bother go doctor, you know. But anyway, and this is what I paid for health insurance. For health insurance in 2022 from January 1st to December 31st. This is what I paid in health insurance. I'll do another video when we have time and free up my mind very clear. I'll do a video showing each document and so on, you know. I have personal stuff on the document, so it's kind of hard to be showing all of these documents now, but yeah. So when you add these, it actually helps to reduce everything. It helps you to get back more money. So if you're paying health insurance and pension, it helps you to get back more money. Or if you're only paying one of them, it still helps you to get back some money, because during the COVID time, I had gotten exempted from paying health insurance for 2 years. Praise God. And like last year, them say, all right, now we're gonna come back and take back everything. Last year was the highest I've ever paid for health insurance. Anyway, um, but I was paying pension, and I actually forgot to bring my pension statement when I went to do the filing on February 16th. Please do not forget. No, don't forget any documents. And that's why I'm always walking with all of my documents, you know. But I've been so tired, you know, just preparing to leave. Yeah, that I had forgotten my pension statements, even though, you know, because I did filing for 2 years. Last year I had not filed, and that had caused my health insurance to get high. My residence tax was high. So guys, you don't want this to happen to you at all. So yeah, just make sure you have all the documents. Any documents that you're not sure of, just ask me and I will let you know. But yeah, I think I've gotten all this taxing out of my system now. Yeah. Tax adjustment, tax returns, tax refund, you know. Yeah. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of these terms. I should say them in Japanese. Kakute shinkoku. That's a tax return. Kakute shinkoku. Just know that one. Kakute shinkoku. You just go to them, Kakute shinkoku, and they're like, they know exactly what you want to do, right? It's going to be the tax returns that you're doing, or zeiking. Anything that's zeiking, that's tax. Zeiking, tax, you know. Your shihara choso, that's the salary payment slip. So just make sure you ask your company for them, because, you know, if you work with a big company or a small company, it might, you know, they might not be on top of things as much, and you don't want to find yourself dealing with that kind of situation. I'm just checking my notes here to see if there's anything I've left out, but it's actually a much simpler process. Once you kind of get a hang of it and all the documents, you just need to prepare the documents first, and it takes hours. I'm not telling a lie. It takes, because, you know, and the truth is, I actually make copies and bring, but then when I get there, they make copies again and give me back. Some people ask for originals. Some places ask for the originals. Here in Nagoya, them don't trouble me about originals, so I'm very happy about that. Make sure that some places they want you to translate the birth certificate. They want you to put some Japanese on it. I do it myself. I don't get any translator to do it, but it depends on where you live. So, you know, just pray for the best, hope for the best, go there and just, you know, just try to be as prepared as you can possibly be, to feel comfortable about what it is that you need to do. I think you can apply like 5 years in the back. So if you did not file for 5 years, you can just make sure you have all those documents for 5 years, and trust me, I did 2 years and it took me about 2 hours. So because they have to prepare each file. I'm going to show you my printout for the last one, right? Of course, and put some extra papers in there, like to encourage you to do e-filing and that kind of thing. But e-filing requires that you have a my number and a card reader that can read the my number, or you need a smartphone that can read it, so you can do e-filing. Okay. Well, so this is one document that they prepared, right? And this is basically what the form kind of looks like online, or if you go to your ward office or city office, they can give you this form, but it's also available online, so you can actually fill it in and then bring the document to the tax office. But I couldn't get around to doing that part at all. So I just went. So see, 2 of these, because I had not filed for 1 year. So for the 7 years I've been here, I have 7 sets of these. I don't want to look on my information. I have 7 sets of these. And so each time I go, I bring them with me. Even though it's from 2016, I bring it, and it just makes it easier. They don't need the 2016 one, but I just bring it just in case, So yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know. I haven't even looked at these yet since I got them back, because I've just been so busy. But yeah, all the best when you're going to do your taxes. I hope you get back some money. I really do hope you get back some money. And because the taxes levied here in Japan they're kind of high when you're trying to save. When you're trying to save, when you're not planning to stay here in Japan, it can feel like a lot of money is being taken, after you work so hard, because you're paying taxes and then you have to pay residence tax. And my residence tax is usually around 100,000 or a little less. I'm hoping that it is even less. Oh, I have to tell you guys so of course I'm leaving Japan. But guess what? Because I'm leaving Japan in May, I am still responsible for paying or doing the tax filing for January 2023 to May 2023, next year 2024. So during the tax filing period, February to March 2024, I have to appoint an agent to do the tax filing for me. So the same birth certificate, remittances, health insurance, pension, Gensen Choshuhyo, which is the tax payment slip. I have to give my agent all of that so they can file on my behalf in 2024. Do I have to? I don't have to. But what it would mean is that any money that I would get back, I can't get back because I don't file, But I'm not even trying to think about that right now. So yeah, that is something to think about when you're leaving Japan, whether or not you're just going to, call it a day with the tax filing, But if your company isn't doing it, then yeah. I mean, you're already out of the country and all of that, but yeah. So that is something that I have to, something else on my plate that I need to get done. I've heard that there are persons who charge a fee for this kind of thing. Similarly, I guess, when you're leaving Japan, and this isn't kind of tax related, but quick squeeze. When you're leaving Japan, you can apply for up to 5 years of 5 consecutive years of pension that you have contributed, right? So I've actually been exempted from paying pension, I think last year, or this year, something like that, one of them. But so, and when you're leaving Japan, you can apply for 80% after you've left the country. So or before you leave the country. I don't even remember. 80%. 80% while you're here or something. After you've left the country, you can apply for 80%. The other 20% has to be applied for by somebody who is still in the country. So you can say that's another agent that you could use. Oh, Japan. But yeah, it's tax season, it's tax time. Still some time. Don't wait until the last minute to get your taxes filed. Don't wait until the last minute to see how much money you can get back. And I hope you will be getting back some money. All right. It's Stacy personally speaking. I just wanted to talk freely here on this beautiful day compared to yesterday, which was so rainy. And I have been so tired, but I am so grateful. That things are moving along slowly but steadily. I started things early, so yeah, but this is not tax related, is it? Yeah. Bye for now. Stacy personally speaking. I'll catch you in the next video. I have tons of videos I want to do. I just don't have the time right now. Peace. God bless you.